You're listening to episode 48. Welcome to Behind the Brand, stories and strategies for building your creative business. Here we take a deep dive into the brands of heart-centered businesses and entrepreneurs and unveil behind the scenes into how they're building their brands, as well as tips and tricks to how you can build your own dream business. I'm your host, Kelsey Kerslake, and I'm the founder of Pinegate Road, a branding studio for businesses and entrepreneurs ready to get their brands completely figured out. From finding your core values, making that beautiful brand identity that speaks to your ideal audience, to figuring out how to style and strategize your social media platforms and launch your new website, we're here to guide you each step along the way to build your dream business. Head to pinegateroad.com to get in touch today about working together. All right, you guys, here we go. First podcast, and I think it's been about 8 months. I'm not going to lie. I've missed this, and I feel like for the past while, I had to take, I'm going to go into all of this. Sorry, I'm just jumping right in there. But I definitely had to take a break after this last summer. And today I woke up and I finally felt the need to just record what has been going on, share it with you guys, share my excitement for where Pinegate Road is heading, and just do a little catch up and hang out with the mic. I feel a little rusty, honestly. I'm sitting here and being like, can I even speak? Like, how is this going to work out for me? But thank you so much for bearing with me as I get going with this all again. I don't necessarily think this is the start of season 2 yet, but it will showcase how season 2 is going to happen. And I will just fill you in on all of that stuff. So anyway, welcome to Behind the Brand. My name is Kelsey Kerslake. I am the CEO and founder of Pinegate Road, a branding and web design agency. And that is basically the big topic for this show, going from studio to agency. And I know that might not seem like a big thing. Like you're just like, okay, like you just changed a little tweak in your name. But for me as a business owner and the mindset shift that I had to go over from the past 6 months to get to this place was kind of incredible in my brain. Like that differentiation is huge for me. So if you guys have been sitting on the edge of your seat waiting for that announcement, I know I was like teasing it on Instagram. That is the big thing. So in this show, I want to go through what has been going on over the past 6 months and how I decided to make that change, what being an agency means, and kind of what the vision for Pinegate is going forward from now on. So this summer was about 1 year of being a full-time business owner. So in 2016, August 2016, was when I decided to leave my corporate job and I started to run Pinegate full-time. There's lots of other episodes going over the recap of that whole transition. So go back in the archives and find that if you want to hear that whole story. So anyway, I started off with a bang. I felt like I wanted to do all of these things, like start a podcast and blog all the time and do courses and still serve my one-on-one clients. But I had these big dreams for Pinegate because they were things that I was never really able to focus on because of the lack of time that I had while I was working in corporate America. And now that I had the time, I just went balls to the wall and did everything I ever wanted to do. I was writing newsletters once, twice, 3 times a week, and just doing all of the things that I felt that I had to do as an online business owner, because you read all those blog posts, you listen to all the podcasts, and you're like, okay, well now I have to start a podcast and I have to start blogging and I have to Instagram and I have to Facebook and I have to grow my newsletter list and do all of these things to be a successful business owner. And I kind of got burnt out. So last summer, I got to this place where I was focusing so much on all of the things that I should be doing. And there were things that I genuinely wanted to do as a business owner. I was very excited about being able to do all of these things. But when it came down to it, my business wasn't thriving. It was fine. Clients were coming, but I was focusing so much on doing all of the marketing, all of the fun, that I forgot to focus on the core of what was feeding my business, which was the really intricate one-on-one service work that we do to help people build their brands and their websites and their online presence. So that is when I realized around summer that I needed to kind of take a step back and evaluate where I wanted to head with Pinegate. And it was really fuzzy for a long time. I wasn't seeing how I could possibly do everything on my own. I don't know why I thought that I had to do it on my own for so long. I did have a business coach at this point, and she was helping me go through a lot of my packagings, working on my mindset, and trying to just help me get to that next level. But at the same time, that vision really does come from you as a person. And if you don't know where you want to head in life, in business, and anything, then how do you know if you're taking the right steps to get there? So I kind of went through this exploratory phase for a couple months where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew the core values that I had at my business and I was living those out, but those could go in so many different directions and I didn't know what direction I wanted to head with anything. And on the personal side, Todd and I got married last February, and we have also been trying to start a family for the past year, unsuccessfully so far. So like there was this, just is a baby going to come? Like, are we going to start a family? And how is that going to impact my business when everything is completely relying on me? And just all last year, I thought it could happen at any moment. And then I would have 9 months, and it is still not happened. But just that thinking it could happen at some point, someday, and how do you plan for that? Do you go do this crazy thing, but then I find out I'm pregnant and I don't know, I had all of those just thoughts swirling in my head. So we've not given up at all. But at the same time, I'm kind of just you know what, Kelsey, go do your life, live your best life, run your business the way you would want to with or without a baby. And that kind of got me thinking, it just opened the possibilities of so many things that could happen when I stopped worrying about that being a huge factor. And I realized that when it does happen, I'll adjust. I'm very good at making sure that, just the different things in my life fit into it, and everything is changeable. So even if I did commit to something, based on my life circumstances, things can change, and that's okay. So as soon as I released that kind of pressure from that situation, I was able to think about where I wanted to head with Pinegate. So I think we're about summertime. In the fall, I think there's a garbage man here. Apologize. So in the fall, I went on a couple retreats, 2 of which I was a guest expert at, and one was for Being Boss New Orleans. So I spent I think it was 12 days. I went from Florida to New Orleans, and there were 3 different events back to back. I was with my business coach for the first 2, where I was sent as the branding expert to help others. And then the Being Boss retreat was really just a gathering of 75 boss ladies there to just have a vacation. It was not content oriented. It was just meet these other people who are doing these online businesses, get to know them, have fun, take a little break for yourself. So during this trip was a huge turnaround for me. I was kind of coming into it at a pretty low point, just not feeling stable with what was going on in Pinegate. I wasn't clear on my vision. I didn't really necessarily I think I was going through a lot of that comparison too. I was spending a lot of time, on other people's websites and Instagram and things like that, and just being I'm not doing that. And then I started to feel bad about myself because of that, blah, blah, blah. That, that can be a whole different subject here. So I kind of went into that trip not feeling great about where things were heading. I was just very unsure. And by the time I got through that trip, just being infused with so much soulful business advice and planning, and being able to step up as a leader in other people's businesses for the first time, going to these retreats and hosting them and helping people work through some of the things that we do at Pinegate, but in an in-person way and not through the Pinegate Road process, but just one-off experiences and doing these trainings and meeting other lady bosses who were just making big moves in their careers and their businesses and going for it. It was transformational, to say the least. I came out of that retreat. I was ready to make things happen. And it wasn't any one particular thing. But what I did, I came back out of that retreat experience, that 12-day trip, and I realized that big things were possible for me and my business. And I was the only person that was holding anything back. It wasn't other people or circumstances. And not that I get into that negative space very often, but that if I wanted to have this wonderful, crazy vision for my life, that it was actually possible and that it was me that needed to take the steps to make that happen. So what I did when I came back was that I immediately, I tore everything up in Pinegate for the most part. Not really, but I revamped my entire schedule. I completely went through the next 6 months and I was like, here is exactly how many clients I can bring on. Here is the process we work through explicitly. Here's what I can hand off. Here's what I can do. Here's what I need to charge to do that. And I basically made the entire plan for the next 6 months in November. And as soon as I had that plan written out, I put it on what the being boss ladies would call the chalkboard, but I have this marble dry erase board above my desk. I put down all of the slots for new clients, and I just focused on doing what we do at the core, and that is building people's brands, building people's websites, and just helping them get to that next big step in their business by completely transforming their online presence. And just focusing on the one-on-one work, and that's it. So that's why the podcast went away, and that's why I stopped focusing on courses and doing online summits and building my newsletter list and sending newsletters and doing any podcasts. All I did was focus on doing excellent work for the clients that we had and to book new clients to fill up the spots that we had available. And you want to know the magic that happens when you get very serious about, and very clear, not even serious, just clear about the plan that you have, what you're going after. It works. As soon as you get clear, I feel like God or the universe just meets you at that same place. And it just, all of those slots magically filled up in, I would say, 3 weeks. It was the most mind-blowing thing that I've ever experienced. I think it was me needing to get clear on where I wanted to head in order to make sure that everything was fine and that the universe and God and all of that could come in and just say, okay, you've stepped up and I'm going to step up and meet you there. And that feeling was incredible. So I went into December and January, we have a completely full calendar of clients. Actually, it's not that full. We are definitely still taking on clients and work all the time. And then with that being said, this December and November, I decided to hire several team members. So I'm hiring in a different kind of way. And this is what I'm really stepping up into working on right now, is how to form the team that can support the future process that I want to grow into now. So for the most part, Pinegate Road has been run, I would say 85 to 90% on things that I am personally doing. So I am doing sales calls. I am writing contracts. I am doing all of the design work, the web work. I hire developers always. And I do have somebody helping with some of the production of the, just packaging some of the logo files and things like that. But the majority of the work has been me. And I felt that I'm getting a little bogged down, like just going from, okay, let me calculate these invoices and get in the nitty gritty of the finances, and then jumping to trying to help vision, like, where is this brand heading in the next 10 years? And what kind of assets are they going to need? And what kind of style and vision and the whole aesthetic look should we build in based on their big vision? It was this huge gap of, brain power that I'm using, from finances to email writing to sales calls to visioning for the business and the creative direction. And I realized that everything was really reliant on me as a business owner. So if I got sick again, then I would not be able to run Pinegate. Like, Pinegate would cease to exist if I did. And this is where I'm at right now. And this is the big transition that I'm making, is that I'm building Pinegate in a way that if I don't exist, if I go on vacation for 2 months, if I want to go vision for the business and take a week away or just do all of that, that Pinegate will still run at the same level with the same quality of excellence and service that we have been, without me directly having to be involved in every aspect. While I definitely love the creative direction piece and I do love the design piece, I do want to also find people that could step up in a lot of the roles that I'm working on in Pinegate right now. So this is where I'm transitioning from the studio to the agency. The agency is the vision where I can step away. I can go have a baby and go on maternity leave, and Pinegate will be fine when I return. But I'm still setting the big vision for where the company's heading, how it's serving our ideal customers, and maybe, just the general business operations of how are we even marketing to our ideal target audience? What does that look like? But I'm not necessarily going to be doing the doing, which is an exciting new thing for me. And this is the big step. So I'm really excited to see how this goes over the next several months. I've recently joined a high-level mastermind to help me build from the studio to the agency model. So I am receiving support. I'll be going on a couple retreats to help me form the business, form this next step for the agency. And I'm so excited, you guys. I feel like we're going to be able to support people in above and beyond ways that I've never been able to as a single human, because everybody has their expertise. And I really want to hire people in every little area of what Pinegate does and have them just be experts at that. And I'm just so excited. So that being said, if you are a business owner who is ready to get to the very next level with your business, if you're sick and tired of doing everything yourself, or you are just needing a new brand and website and way to market yourself, just how you show up online, if any of this is stuff that you are struggling with, I would love to have a conversation with you and just see where you're at with everything, where you're visioning your business, and see if what we offer at Pinegate might be a fit. And it might not. That's okay. But if I can help you vision to that next place, if you are maybe where I was 6 months ago and you can be X, Y, and Z in your business, but you're just showing up as X right now and you want to get to that X, Y, Z and all the alphabet and beyond, then let's have a conversation and see if we can help you get there. I think that one of the things that we have been building into Pinegate is that because I've been going through so much of this transformation and I've been working with these high-level business coaches, I'm learning the business side of branding and not necessarily like, oh, let's just create a pretty logo or a pretty website that fits with your brand and targets your target audience. It's really going into the strategy of how are you structuring your business? How are you marketing it? How are you needing to actually work in your website? What team members do you have that are needing to work in your website? And how is that going to flow? And how is that going to grow with your company? And how are you going to build a website that really converts to sales or converts to newsletter signups and does the things that are unique to your business that helps it grow. And I feel like that is where I thrive. I love getting into the nitty-gritty of that vision and then seeing how we can build that vision in a very unique, special way for each business owner and each company that we work with. And I don't know, that just pumps me up, and I feel like I'm going to get even better at doing what I do with the team that I will have supporting me in the future. And we have a team. It is growing, and I am in the midst of structuring that all. So if you are a service provider, if you are in the design space, if you're a web designer, web developer, photographer, etc., email me at kelsey@pinegateroad.com. I would love to hear from you and hear if any of this resonates with you, because I will be looking for team members in the future. And even though I don't have specific positions that I am offering right this second, if getting excited about people's businesses and being an expert at what you specifically do to help with the bigger picture of getting a brand online is something that you're passionate about, I would love to hear from you. So yeah, I think that's it. I think I covered everything. It was kind of a quick recap of the past 6 months. I was not as nervous as I thought I would be sharing this with you all, and my voice came back. I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to speak after not being on a podcast for a really long time. So this was good, you guys. Anyway, if you are wanting to chat, email me at kelsey@pinegateroad.com. If you're wanting to become a client, if you're just wanting to have that conversation and see what we could even help you vision to or get to as a business, let me know. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you to our sponsor, audible.com, for supporting the show. Please head to audibletrial.com/pinegateroad to get a free audiobook download and a free 30-day trial. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute and head to iTunes to rate and review the show. It makes a big difference in growing the show, and I'll be here giving you a virtual high five behind the scenes. You can follow along with the studio for branding tips, advice, and general inspiration on Instagram, username pinegateroad, or by heading to pinegateroad.com for everything else happening in the studio. Sending lots of love and wishing you an awesome week. You've got this.